friends, it is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, and today is the start of a new week. It is Monday, so today I'm just going to update you really quick on where I'm at in my books and then tell you my goals for the week as always. So I am on page 230 in Sorcery of Thorns. If you don't know, this tells the story of Elizabeth, who is an apprentice in a library where she was raised because she was an orphan, and it is her job to be in charge of these grimoires, which are dormant books that can come to life. One day, just one of the grimoires was stolen, and she was framed, so she is on this journey to free her name and discover who actually stole the grimoire. And I'm getting vibes about an enemies to lovers trope. There is a demon cat, there is books coming to life, and it's just the greatest book ever. I am reading this alongside Amber from Reading Infinitely. Her and I clicked immediately, so if you like my stuff, you should definitely check out her channel. I will link it down below. But yeah, super excited about this one and cannot wait to keep reading it. I also picked up The Stormcrow by Kalyn Josephson, and this tells the story of Anthea, who is part of this kingdom, and her sister lost all the crows and their family one day in this attack from another kingdom. And when attack is threatened again, Anthea is forced to be betrothed to the son of the queen who attacked them, and so she is forced to take action, and I'm just super excited because it is so cool. The crows are elemental magic crows, so they have the storm crow, which is they're in charge of the weather, and there's there's crows that do gardening, and there's crows that are army crows. I just really love this world, so I'm super excited to continue this one as well. I'm also in the middle of volume 4 of Dengeki Daisy, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I said this in my wrap-up last week, but I normally give these 5 stars, but after some reevaluation, I've decided to redact 5 stars on all of the series, and I'm gonna knock it down to 4 stars just because it's not giving me the 5-star feel anymore. And I'm still gonna read it because I enjoy it more than my Ouran High School Host Club series, but yeah, I just kind of starting to push some buttons that I'm not enjoying. And I'm also on page 178 of my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows audiobook. So that is what I have read so far. It is only Monday, so my goals for the week are, of course, to read those 4. So Amber and I are planning to read 5 chapters each night, so if I stay at that rate, I should finish this on Wednesday night, and as soon as I finish that, I will be picking up The Wicked King. Then I'm also reading The Stormcrow in increments. I believe I'll finish this Dengeki Daisy Volume 4 tonight. I'll continue reading my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows audiobook, but I'm also doing an audiobook of The Hobbit. I finished the physical copy last week, but I'm also doing a read of the audiobook. They're just not the same. They have very different vibes. The audiobook cuts out a lot of the physical book, so I wanted to read the physical book, but the audiobook's really cool and it really immerses you in the world, so I also wanted to read the audiobook. I just couldn't do it at the same time. So I read the physical book last week, and I have about 40 minutes left of the audiobook from reading today. As soon as I finish that, I will be picking up Howl's Moving Castle audiobook, and that is my A for herbology, which is to read an audiobook. So I will be completing that this week. So I've got a lot planned for this week, but I also wanted to just do a quick unboxing. So I don't know how many of you know, but there was a restock of the Karakozik mugs from Owlcrate, and they sold out within minutes. And you already know that I was one of those ninjas that as soon as it started at 2 p.m. the restock opened, and I was checked out and got my confirmation email before it hit 2:01. So that's how excited I was. So we've got this one. I don't know which one this is, but I ordered, oh, okay. So this is the Forbidden Forest. It should have the Hagrid's hut and Buckbeak on it. I'm super excited about that. It's gonna go on my Chamber of Secrets shelf. I know Buckbeak's like primarily in the Prisoner of Azkaban, but the next mug really is Prisoner of Azkaban, so that's why I'm sticking with that one. Let me know if you think this should go on a different one, but I've got that Goblet of Fire one for sure. So should this go on my Chamber of Secrets or my Sorcerer's Stone? But it's just, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna go on Chamber of Secrets. It's a Forbidden Forest mug, so we've got Hagrid's Hut and Buckbeak, but then we have also got a unicorn, we've got a centaur, and then we've also got the car that Ron and Harry crashed into the Whomping Willow with Aragog on it, so that is definitely Chamber of Secrets. So cute, I love it. And I also got the Night Bus mug. It says, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Let out your inner mischief by using this mug inspired by our favorite marauders. I thought this had the Night Bus on it. So we've got Sirius as the black dog, and then the Night Bus, and then we've got Hogwarts and the Whomping Willow, and then Scabbers, and then Lupin in his werewolf form, and then Dementors with Harry casting a Patronus at the Dementors. So that's awesome. Also love this one. This will go on my Prisoner of Azkaban. Either will go on my Chamber of Secrets. Got a Goblet of Fire. And now I just have to decide if I want the Diagon Alley or the Hogwarts Feast one for Sorcerer's Stone. I'm gonna make a poll on Twitter to decide that. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you guys for watching. I will check in with you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is now Wednesday, and I just wanted to update you on where I'm at. And I really was gonna film yesterday, and then I got home and I was like, nah, I don't wanna. I don't know, it was just like not feeling it at all. I don't know why, but here we are now, so let's go. So on Monday night, I finished Dengeki Daisy Volume 4, and again, I do think that I'm going to redact what I've said about the whole series and change all those 5 stars to 4 stars, and I'm actually going to update that on Goodreads probably tonight. And yeah, I just feel like there were some things that I might have tolerated in the first 3 volumes, and by the 4th volume I was just kind of over it, so I need to adjust my feelings on that. But yeah, it was a cute novel, and there was like a scary bit in here which I didn't really vibe with because I don't like scary things, but other than that, it's a cute manga. I also finished my audiobook for The Hobbit, and I ended up giving this 4 stars. I gave the physical copy 4.5 and then gave the audiobook 4 stars. And let me tell you, if I had not read the physical copy before reading the audiobook, I would have no idea what was happening. The voices were so out of there, I couldn't hardly understand them, and it was so rushed, and it skipped so much of this text and changed some of the text. So I'm really glad I read this first. But the audiobook was still a really cool way to immerse myself in this world, and I'm super excited to watch the movies soon. So as soon as I'm finished with my Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows audiobook, I'm gonna watch those 2 movies, and then I'm gonna watch The Hobbit and start that series with my family. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm about a day behind on Sorcery of Thorns. I am supposed to read about 5 chapters every day from last Wednesday, which would put me at ending the book tonight. But I missed a day, so I'm only on page 249, so I'm about 5 chapters or 6 chapters behind, and I'll probably read those chapters tonight and then finish tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm still really loving this book. I absolutely adore it. I don't know, man, it might be better than Six of Crows. I feel like I need to reread Six of Crows right after reading this and really judge which book I love more. Six of Crows just has such a special place in my heart because it got me back into reading, but this book is like really tugging at those heartstrings and trying to fit right on in there, and I love it a lot. The grimoires are amazing. I love that they all have their own personalities and they are hilarious. I've laughed out loud, I've cried, I've grinned like a fool, I get emotional talking about it, so it's such a good book. I love it. I am also on page 237 of my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows audiobook reread and loving it. So that's pretty much all I ever have to say about the Harry Potter rereads. So yeah. And then I'm on page 155 of my Howl's Moving Castle audiobook, and this will be my herbology A prompt, so my acceptable newt for herbology. And that is my progress in all my books today. Pretty much my goal for tonight is to at least read my 5 chapters that I'm behind on in Sorcery of Thorns, and then just keep reading from there and see where I get. But there's something really important that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Today at work we had a professional development day, and an author named Sandy Storm came in to speak to us about her experience with human trafficking and how she was human trafficked as a child. And there was a really powerful thing that she said in her speech that I thought was important to share with you guys. And she said, never refer to someone as their addiction or as their problem. Refer to them as a person first. This applies to disabilities too. I learned this when I worked at Disney. You never refer to someone as a handicapped person. You refer to them as a person with a handicap, or a person with a disability, or a person with a drug addiction, or a person who is prostituted. Don't refer to the person, because they aren't, being a drug addict is not who they are, and having a disability is not who they are. You should always lead with person first, because people are people and we need to put value on human lives. Really, you can't place a value on a human life, but we need to value human lives, if that makes sense. But anyways, her speech was so powerful. I loved it so much. She actually had her books for sale at the presentation, so I went ahead and picked them up. She signed them for me and addressed them to Megan. Now, she actually published Hello Navi first, and then published Becoming Navi, and she told me she would really enjoy if I read Becoming Navi and then Hello Navi. So I'm going to be reading these books, and I think you should all really check them out. I think that they're going to be really powerful. They are an allegoric text, so they're not autobiographical, or is that the correct term? They're not like a memoir about her actual story, but they're an allegorical fantasy in reference to her story. So it's a novel about human trafficking, but I was told that it has Narnia vibes, which I am super excited about, so I'm going to be reading these and then getting back to you with a review or book talk on them. Yeah, it was a heavy day. We learned about opioid overdose and sexual abuse / assault awareness and how to deal with it, and also human trafficking. So it's been a lot of heavy topics today. I've cried a bit, and but these are real things that are happening to real people in our lives, and we need to keep an eye out. And I'm going to post some helplines in my About section, so if you or anyone you know needs these, please use them. Or if you ever need to talk to me, just know that I am here for you, and I will do what I can. Just felt that was like a really important thing to talk about, so thank you guys for listening, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is now Friday night. I worked at the theater this morning and then went to Target and spent too much money as always, because you don't go to Target knowing what you want. You go in and let Target tell you what you want, kind of thing. And then we had my papa's birthday party, so now I'm here finally updating. I feel really weird having my hair up. I feel like I look like a colonial boy when I have my hair up, so I'm trying to like pull it to the side and show that I actually have some hair and it's not a low pony. Yeah, but getting to the actual books. So, I finished Sorcery of Thorns, and I do believe this is my #1 book of the year. Like, I loved this whole thing with my whole heart, and it might, like, possibly more than Six of Crows. Like, I think it's higher than Six of Crows. I think I'm just gonna announce it as #1 book of the year so far, because the second half of 2019 is off to a good start. I just, like, I don't know, I can't even talk because I loved this so much. The characters were so good, the grimoires were so good, the romance made me cry because I was so happy. I actually laughed out loud. Like, there's not many books that can make my emotions go from like an internal like chuckle to an actual laugh out loud or an actual crying session or anything like that. Like, I haven't felt these emotions so vividly really ever reading a book. So this book is just perfection, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I just really, really, really loved it. Okay, guys? Like, oh gosh, 5 stars, clearly. You all need to read this, and I just want to talk to anyone who's an artist out there. I will pay for someone to draw this scene on page 424. It's the 3rd paragraph on page 424. I will pay for someone to draw that scene. So if you're an artist, please hit me up. Like, yeah, I need that in my life, and I can't draw. I will do a quick sketch of what I'm envisioning, and if you can make it come to life, I would love you forever, but I need that book, and I just need that. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's Sorcery of Thorns, and this was my charms prompt, I believe. I think it was my acceptable newt for charms. So we have completed that. Let's move on to another book, because I just talked about this one for like a solid 3 minutes. So I haven't finished any other books yet this week, but I have made a good headway into Howl's Moving Castle for my audiobook. I'm about halfway through now. So I'm on page 247. It's a little different than the movie. I watched the movie like 2 months ago and really enjoyed it, and I think I want to watch more anime or Studio Ghibli, however you pronounce it. I want to watch more of that film industry, but the book's a little bit different. I think they focus on different things, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it so far, and maybe like 4 stars. It's not my favorite, but I'm enjoying it. I'm finding it hard to focus on at points, like I'm getting lost, and maybe I just need to slow down the speed of the narrator, but I'm finding it a little hard to keep up with, but I'm enjoying it. It's a good book. Next, I have picked up Dengeki Daisy Volume 5, and I'm enjoying this one more than any of the others so far because the things that were pushing my buttons aren't as prevalent in this volume so far, just because one of the main characters got hurt, so they aren't really conscious to do those things, and I'm enjoying, yeah, it's a little better, so that's exciting. Maybe 4.5 stars now. And lastly, I'm on page 284 of my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows audiobook. I didn't make any progress in the Storm Crow this week, but I have to stay up for like 2 hours tonight because Anthony's driving down after work, so I need something to keep me awake because right now is my bedtime normally, so I'm trying to stay awake, and I think I'm gonna try to catch up on this, and then I will read this over the weekend. We're going to a baseball game and a concert and a flea market, but it takes a while to drive to those things, so during the drive I'm gonna try to read because I love reading when I'm just riding in a car. So that's all the updates on reading for this week so far. I will obviously wrap it up at the end of the week, but I did want to talk about one more thing. I'm doing a collab with another booktuber. Her name's Christina, and her channel name is Looks and Books with Tina. I will link that down below, but essentially the collaboration video is that we sent each other books that we think that the other person would like, and I just received that book in the mail. Super excited. I haven't opened it yet. I just kind of slit the top, so this would be easier. I probably won't read this until September just because my August TBR is so stacked with the N.E.W.T.S, so I probably won't pick this up till September, but the goal of the collaboration is that we're sending each other books that we think the other person would like and then reviewing them on our channel and talking about that book. So let's see what I got. Alright, what is this? It's called Darkness Becomes Her. It says, Ari can't help feeling lost and alone with teal eyes and freakish silver hair that can't be changed or destroyed. Ari has always stood out, and after growing up in foster care, she longs for some understanding of where she came from and who she is. Her search for answers uncovers a message from her long-dead mother, Run. Ari can sense that someone or something is getting too close, but it's impossible to protect herself when she doesn't know what she's running from or why she's being pursued. She knows only one thing. She must return to her birthplace of N.E.W.T., the lush, rebuilt city of New Orleans. Upon arriving, she discovers that N.E.W.T. is very different. Here, Ari is seemingly normal, but every creature she encounters, no matter how deadly or horrifying, is afraid of her. Ari won't stop until she knows why, but some truths are too haunting, too terrifying to ever be revealed. It's definitely giving me Bleeding Violet vibes, which I'm okay with because that was a really enjoyable book. So I'm definitely interested to read this and review it. We shall see. Thanks, Christina. So that is all for tonight, but I will check in with you guys probably Sunday or Monday with my weekly wrap-up.
And the reason we know that is if you look at the bottom part, there's all kinds of spike marks. Okay? Those are all made by the spikes. So, now it's going to be a little hot tonight. And we're gonna roast stuff in the ballpark.
We are about to do a live broadcast. I will put it in the video because we can email the video to ourselves, and he's just being an idiot in the background per usual. Yeah, here we go.
It was a long, rainy Mother's Day here at Great American Ballpark as we waited out a 3-hour rain delay. But Joey Votto made it all worth it. The first baseman ended the game in dramatic fashion with a walk-off grand slam to send all Reds fans home happy. Let's send it back to you to wrap up this Mother's Day marathon with some final analysis.
It was a long, dreary day at the ballpark, including waiting out a 3-hour rain delay, but Joey Votto made it worth the wait as the Reds' first baseman ends the game in grand fashion.
It's a walk-off grand salami and a long-distance Mother's Day gift. V for Votto and V for victory at the Great American Ballpark. That's small.
No, thank you. Is what I should have said. I should be in bed, but temptations of trouble on my tongue, trouble's yet to come. Like bad for me, bad for me, bad for me, but I give in so easily. Ain't no thing is how it should have gone. I should stay strong, but I'm weak. And what's wrong with that? What I'm looking when I'm when I'm weak. And what's wrong with that? What I'm when I'm
Hi friends, it is now Sunday. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that little B-roll collage, if you will, of my baseball game with baseball tour of the stadium. So we got to go in the dugout, we got to go in the press box, we got to go in the VIP lounge. Super cool. Had a lot of fun on that tour. And after that, they had a concert after the game of AJR. I had the biggest migraine during the concert, so I was just sitting there and I was like jamming while holding my head. You didn't get a good view of that because we were leaving as the song Week came on, so if you saw me like dancing along to that, I was mostly happy because we were leaving, which is really sad because it was such a cool concert and I really love that band, and I'm just really sad I couldn't enjoy it to my full potential, but it was a lot of fun regardless. But now back to books. I want to update you on what I read. So I finished Dengeki Daisy Volume 5. And I really enjoyed this one. Like, I liked it more than the others so far, so it might be like a 4.5 because they were all 5 and then I reduced them all to 4. but this one was better, so it might be a 4.5. And then I also read a ton in The Storm Crow by Kalyn Josephson. I am on page 251, and it's out of like 330 something pages, so I have about 80 pages left. Should be able to finish this tonight. Super excited. It's definitely a 5-star so far. Definitely giving me some Crown of Feathers vibes, and strangely some Beauty and the Beast vibes I'm getting from this, but I'm enjoying it a lot, and the concept of the crows is really cool, and the concept of the romance is pretty cool, except I'm not going to say anything about what trope it is, but yeah, it's taking a different turn than I thought. So my goal for tonight is to finish The Storm Crow, and then after that I will be picking up The Wicked King by Holly Black, which is the sequel to The Cruel Prince. But that's all for right now. I'm going to go film my Owl Crate unboxing. I just got my Owl Crate Storms and Seas box, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm gonna go unbox that, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow for the weekly wrap-up. Hi friends, it is now Monday, so I just wanted to wrap you up on what I finished yesterday, but I also wanted to do the weekly wrap-up, so we'll just start with that. This week I finished the Hobbit audiobook. I gave it 4 stars. I also finished Dengeki Daisy Volume 4 and gave it 4 stars as well. Then I finished my #1 book of the year, which was Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. So amazing. Everyone, please go read it right now. 5 stars. And lastly, I finished Dengeki Daisy Volume 5, and I gave it 4.5 stars. So those are the updates you already knew. I just want to update you on what you don't know now. So this week I also finished The Storm Crow by Kyousuke Josephson, and I ended up giving this 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It took a bunch of turns that I wasn't expecting. There was good representation in it, and I just really loved the whole concept of it. And I definitely need the sequel now, even though I don't even know if it's in the works yet. I love this. Then I'm on page 272 of my Howl's Moving Castle audiobook. It's taking a little longer to get through because I actually have to focus on what's happening to stay in tune with what's going on in the book, because in other books, like if I read a contemporary or Harry Potter, if I tune out for like 2 seconds, I'm not going to miss much, but for this, I feel like if I tune out for 2 seconds, I'm missing a whole chapter. So it's taking a little longer to get through because I can't read it at work. I'm also on page 315 of my Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows audiobook, and this one is also taking a little longer to get through. I haven't been driving nearly as much lately, and it's taking a little longer, but we're almost halfway through, so hopefully I'm still finishing this by the end of the month. And lastly, to wrap up this week, instead of picking up The Wicked King, I decided to pick up Descendant of the Crane because it is a library book and it does have to go back this month because I've renewed it too many times already. So I restarted it. This, I don't know if you know, but I picked this up like a month or 2 ago, and I read about 50 pages in and just couldn't continue. But I really still wanted to try to read it, so I picked it back up. I'm on page 25 now, and I'm enjoying it more this time around than last time, so hopefully I can actually stick with it this time. That's what I've done this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how your week went down in the comments below, and I will check in with you in my next video. Bye, friends.